All right. Good morning, Barb.
Morning.
This is Shirley Frost. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, Shirley.
Well, we logged off and logged back on and nothing worked. Still can't get the picture.
Yeah, sure am. Yep.
Mike, my little camera button says it's green.
Your smiling face.
Oh,
I
gosh.
think I'm good now, Grayson.
Yep, we got you, Bob. There we go.
Yeah, thanks for merging that.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what happened.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.
So I tried that, Tanya, but it still, let's see here.
Computers, computers, computers.
They're the best when they work.
Maybe today, Dave Cocker, you're just incognito.
One of the problems with computers
Yes.
is they do what we tell them to.
Y'all remember what I look like. But I got a special
We do.
hairdo today.
Oh, that almost makes me want to log on to the computer.
You can't see me, so it wouldn't help.
Come on.
Let's see.
Oh. All right.
And I'm doing the invocation stuff today, Tanya.
Great. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, guys. We ready to get started?
Sure.
All good. We're live and recording whenever you
All
are.
right. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to Rotary. Dave Plocker is going to lead us in the invocation and the pledge.
I am going to actually combine the invocation and the four-way test today. In case you don't know it, it was early 1930s when Herbert Taylor set out to save the Club Aluminum Products Distribution Company from bankruptcy. And he thought he was the only person in the company of 250 who had hope, but what he did is started to lay out a plan, and his first job was to set policies for the company that would reflect high ethics and morals. High ethics and morals.
You remember that, don't you, Dave?
I do. And so, dear Lord, as we gather today as Rotarians with the primary objective of peace and harmony among mankind and on this planet, we want to keep in mind, is it the truth? Are we saying things that are truthful? Is it fair to all concerned? Is what we're doing day in and day out in our business, personally, is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And we've got to, if we keep that in mind as we go through our life. And then the number 4, which somewhat sounds repetitious of some of the others, but besides goodwill and better friendships and being fair, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And then, of course, the last one we've adopted here, not formally part of Rotary, I guess, is it fun? So, dear Lord, keep us focused on the four-way test, and let us have fun in life. Amen. And if you want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag
of the United
of the United States
States
of America,
and to the
to
republic
the
for
republic
which
for which it
it stands,
stands,
Nation.
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with
indivisible.
truth and praise for all. Amen.
Amen.
I think I goofed up on the last words, but I do know the pledge.
Thank you, Dave. All right, is John Bailey on here? I keep looking for him. I know he was
Oh, there he is.
busy.
I am here.
Hey,
Good
John.
morning, everybody. How are you?
Great.
Everybody bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? Okay, so makeups this week. Jerry Albright has 2. Vine Street Market set up in the board meeting. Woody Allman has 1 for a movie trivia night. Deborah Errol Martinez has the 1 for the Rotary trivia. Mary Baskin has 1 for the trivia night. Barbara Karstens has 2, 1 for the downtown market setup and 1 for the virtual trivia night. Daryl Cook has 1 for the Vine Street Market. Ryan Johnson has 1 for the Vine Street Market setup. Rich Lunan has 1 for the virtual movie trivia night. Kevin Meter has 1. He attended the virtual trivia night. Philip Roberts has the Vine Street Market setup. Casey Sharvin has 2, 1 for he attended, looks like the Sunrise Club meeting and the Mount Vernon Rotary Club. Ed True has 1 for the board meeting. David Vale has a virtual exchange committee. And Greg Yank looks like has 3 for leadership. He did a session on the leadership session. It's like 2 leadership sessions, and then he spoke at the Fairview Heights Club.
Thank you, John. All right. I understand we have another visitor today, back for another visit. Rich Lunan, would you like to introduce your guest?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. Once again, Larry Strube is joining us. He was with us last week, and I know he's been to earlier meetings when we actually had in-person meetings. But Larry, I think, is going to plan on joining us. We have talked about it. He has requested an application, so I'm hopeful that Larry will fill out the application and we can have him join us. He's a tremendous volunteer in the community, Boy Scouts, food pantry, church, you name it. And he would be a great addition to our club. So welcome, Larry.
Thanks, Rich. The paperwork's in your in basket.
All right.
Excellent, excellent. And just as a reminder, anyone else that is looking to recruit or invite people to join our club, this is a great time. Right now we have an ongoing membership drive, and you may have seen that the Rotarian who is successful in inviting the most new Rotarians by the end of the year will receive 500 additional Paul Harris points to their account for the foundation. All right, moving right along. Happy Bucks and trivia. So Sheriff Ken Davis.
There we go. Now I'm here.
Okay.
Are there any happy bucks out there for us today? Come on, there's got to be some happy people here.
This is Shirley and Daryl Cook.
Hi, Shirley.
Hi. You know, the last 6 months have been trying between the Fritos, the Doritos, the ice cream, the steaks, etc. However, Daryl and I are both proud to announce that we have not gained any weight, but actually lost some weight. So I have to compute how much we lost and send in some money for that, plus the prior IOU.
Wow.
Well, very good.
Thank you.
Make that claim. So maybe I'll give $1 for every pound I put on. Any other happy bucks out there?
I have a happy buck.
Great.
I'm going to contribute $5. I want to say thank you to the board for being so patient with me last Friday for our board meeting. I had to travel to Alabama to check on my daughter who is at Auburn. I was able to see her after being at college for 5 weeks, and she is just growing into such an incredible young woman. She shared that she's flown a couple of times, and she is just doing great things down there. So we're so excited for her, and I never thought I would have a kid that said that battle cry, but you know what, to see the smile on her face and see how happy she is, I think I could even stand to have her wear orange and blue.
Well, congratulations.
Tanya, you know, Larry Strube is a big Auburn fan too, so we'll have to keep the two of you apart.
Well, I have been very impressed with Auburn, and I never thought I would say that, but they've really done some great things with our daughter. So, and then I'm at my office today, my real office. So that's another happy for me is I had a meeting here this morning, and that was a nice thing. There's nobody else here; it's just me. But you know, at least I got to see my desk, so it was nice.
Tanya, this is Phil. Did you say your daughter is flying there?
She is. She's a professional pilot major, so she's zooming around the skies of Auburn.
Hallelujah.
Very good. Any other happy bucks before we move on to trivia?
I'll give a happy buck. It rained last night, and everything needed that. So thanks for a little moisture.
Great, Dave.
Tanya,
Go ahead.
Yes.
I would like to know.
Hi, Shirley.
Hi there. We would like to know if your desk has been really lonely and it's talking to you because it hasn't been able to talk to anybody all this time.
My office looked like we had been robbed when I came back in, because we just, you know, when everything shut down, we just grabbed everything and took it home. We've been trying to get it at least not looking like we've been robbed.
Hey, Ken?
Yes, Greg.
Yank.
Hi,
Can you hear
Greg.
me?
I can hear you.
I am going to give two happy bucks. One, that the Cardinals got into the playoffs by the skin of their teeth. And secondly, tomorrow I am presenting and co-presenting an item to our Rotary International Board on a new committee structure that our Strategic Planning Committee has been working on for several years. So I'll be on display tomorrow on a Zoom call with our board of directors.
That's excellent.
What time is that going to be?
8 o'clock in the morning.
All right, congratulations. We'll be rooting for you.
And
You better.
Ken, this is Phil
Yeah,
Roberts.
Phil.
A couple of happy bucks will be sent in. I was able to travel over to Dayton, Ohio to the National Aviation Hall of Fame and for a couple of business meetings. And that safe travel becomes more and more, we become more and more thankful for that all the time. It's tough out there. We're going through Indiana and Illinois with all the I-70 construction there is. It's amazing that we don't have more problems than we do with traffic.
Well, congratulations. Glad to hear that. More happy bucks. Can we pull up the trivia now?
Yep, I will launch the poll now. Whenever you are ready there, Ken.
Okay, last week, I pretty much stumped everybody. We only got 16%. So I figured this one would be an easy one. In what year did Illinois host the Century of Progress World Fair in Chicago? Was it 1931, 1933, or 1935?
So far, you're split 3 ways.
So mark your ballots. 1931, 1933, or 1935?
I thought it was an even number here.
Do we have the write-in ability,
supposed to be
Sheriff?
an easy one, Dave. Easy peasy.
We'll give it like 10 more seconds here. We got 81% of the vote in so far.
Wow, very good.
And we will go ahead and end, and I will share the results. Looks like 15 people voted for 1931, 13 people voted for 1933, and 8 people voted for 1935. So you're split.
Wow. Come on, guys. This was supposed to be an easy one. The answer is 1933.
Ah.
I flunked.
What made it easy?
Hey, this is Chicago. We should know when the World Fair was. I wouldn't be surprised if there was somebody there. No, I'm just kidding. Come on, guys. Well, 36%, 1/3 of the club got it right. So congratulations on that question. Go Shirley.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sheriff Ken. Up next,
You're welcome.
we'll go to announcements and club news. Everyone should have received their newsletter last night with various announcements. Please don't forget that you have Grayson on availability for digital questions and one-on-one. You can email him to set up your own session. Grayson, have you been helping people recently?
Yes, actually, a quick tangent. I will actually be at the O'Fallon Public Library from 1 to 4 p.m. This Wednesday and next Wednesday to help local residents with just getting onto Zoom and figuring out how to work it. So if you need help in person, I will be there from 1 to 4 on the 30th, this Wednesday, and next Wednesday on the 7th. And yes, I have been helping a couple people here and there with the issues that we can solve virtually. So if you need help in person, feel free to bring your laptop or your phone or whatever you would like down to the library.
Grayson, will there be snacks?
Oh, you know what? I gotta talk to Ryan. I don't know if I'm allowed to bring in snacks, but if I am, I will bring some.
Thank you, Grayson. All right, Rich, you want to update us on volunteer opportunities at the Vine Street Market?
Absolutely. They're coming few and far between. We only have 3 more weeks. This coming Saturday, the 3rd, I already have 5 people volunteering. Jerry Albrecht, Daryl Cook, Mary Alice, Stephen Medford, and Phil Roberts. And so I'm looking for volunteers for the 10th and the 17th. Those are the last 2 dates. And I would really like to encourage someone who has not previously volunteered to come out. I know Tanya mentioned something last week, having done that for the first time a while back, how enjoyable it was. I know Barb was with us this past week, and it's a lot of fun, 6:30 to 8 o'clock in the morning. Please email me if you are interested. I will take all comers, but I will give priority people who have not yet done it. So we're looking for volunteers for the 10th and the 17th. Thanks.
Hey, Rich, it's Allison. Can you put Carl and I down for the 17th?
I've got you down, Allison.
All right.
And anybody else, just email me. It'd be fine. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Thanks for following up on that. All right, everyone, just wanted to remind you that our annual Children's Halloween parade has gone virtual. And Bob Kaufman has set up a virtual Halloween costume contest. He has put together this costume contest with the help of Grant Litteken. And there is a, basically what you will be doing is they will be uploading photos to a secure site, which is password protected. There are a few different categories for the entrance, and there will be prizes awarded. There's several different ways that we as the club can come together and help Bob and support this event. As many of you know, the Children's Halloween Parade is one of the O'Fallon's favorite events that we have every year. And so Bob decided to go virtual this year, unfortunately, because we just weren't sure that a parade was viable this year. Bob, do you have anything to add?
No, I think we have all the advertising ideas and everything that people have sent in. So we're getting ready to post some things around town. Vine Street Market will take some flyers down there with some churches and schools and some signs around town. So if anyone would like to help, especially the folks that are on the Youth Services Committee, if you can send me an email or call me and let me know, I'll make sure and get you some flyers to post around town, O'Fallon, in your travels. Other than that, things are on schedule, and hopefully we get a lot of applicants.
Wonderful, wonderful. We have a few more slides coming up with more information. So if we can get those slide through. So those are the different categories for top costumes. They do have a category specifically for the kiddos who are under 3. And then again, it's a SurveyMonkey site, which is a password protected site. So you can let your friends and neighbors know that if they submit pictures of the kiddos for consideration, that they will be secure. We don't have to worry about any sort of issues with that.
This is just for children, correct? Because I see in that first one, it was a Halloween costume party, and I'm a little worried that Woody might get dressed up.
Well, now, if Woody, if Woody wants to participate, we're not going to hold him back. I just, you know, between you and I, Rich, I don't think he's going to win, though. I mean.
Oh, come on, Tanya.
Wink, wink.
All right. So ways that you guys can help. You've got, you can reach out to Bob. He does have a committee, but the biggest way you can help out is promote the event. So there will be some Facebook shares. There's also going to be the ability to tell people you know. Bob has printed flyers. So if you have a business or a church or a public space where you get a lot of traffic, maybe you offer to put up a flyer for Bob. Biggest goals for the event is just to get a high number of participants, have the opportunity to tell people about our club, and then, of course, always have fun. All right, the business meeting. We're going to start off with Kevin Meter with the treasurer report. Kevin is not popping up. Okay. All right. Well, we'll go back to the president's report. All right, guys. So the biggest thing was that I accomplished back in September is the Trivia Night fundraiser. We were able to raise around $11,000. We're still working out some of the costs that were associated with it, but the initial numbers that have come in have been around 11,000. As you know, we have about $13,000 earmarked for the giving for the year. Our big thing for discussion is that our current calendar has one social event a month, and we are trying to pivot towards something that will allow us to eventually get back to a hybrid model. As you know, we have a task force that's been working on that, but much of the area has been under elevated mitigation procedures. And I believe that just got lifted recently. So we'll be looking to get together with that task force again and discussing how we can have some sort of a hybrid model or some option available for people. I wanted to highlight the fact that Stephen and Alan Medford made an incredibly generous donation to the event of $2,000. I just was amazed that they contributed in that fashion to us, and really wanted to highlight that. Thank you so much. The biggest thing that we had associated with the trivia night was it was a very new type event for a lot of people, and we were able to raise a considerable amount of money and awareness about the club. So in that fashion, we were successful. I think if we could make a couple of tweaks, this is something that if we get into the second half of the year, the Rotary year, and we needed to do another virtual event, I think we've got some good building blocks for putting together another event. At this time, I believe Nathan is still planning to explore an event in the late winter, early spring at the Regency, but that again is to be determined. Okay. And again, our annual giving budget, that slide is from last week, but it's still $13,505. All right, did Kevin jump on? I'm not seeing Kevin. All right. So let me see if I have.
Hold on one sec. He got disconnected. He's coming back in right now.
Okay, perfect. Kevin is the most important report, I think, for most people. So most people want to hear about the financials associated with the club. So really
I'm back, Tanya.
Sure he has time. Good. Thanks,
Sorry
Kevin.
about that. I couldn't find out how to unmute myself when the screen was taking up my whole laptop. Anyway, you ready for the treasurer's report?
Yes.
Great. All right. So this information is for the period ending August 31st. I always like to start off with our reconciled bank balances. In the operations account, we had $20,967 as of August 31st. The charitable account, we had $2,669, and the savings account, $4,021. So as of August 31st, we had total cash available for club use of $27,657. That's down about $2,500 from where we ended the year last year at about $30,000. I sent out early in July, 86 members received invoices for $105. That totaled $9,030. As of September 14th, 74 of the 86 members had paid their dues, and we still have 12 members that still owe a total of $1,260. In looking at the financial statements for the first 2 months, July and August, not a whole lot of activity during those 2 months. We've collected $7,140 in the operating account. That's primarily coming from dues collections. And we've spent $7,371 in operating expenses. That's primarily payments to district and RI for dues. That left just a small deficit in the operations account for the 2 months of $231. In the charitable account, we collected $613. That was mostly from fines and happy bucks and trivia night. We had some deposits and wreaths across America. We spent $3,175 in the charitable account. That's primarily the scholarships that we paid for. That created a deficit in the charitable account of $2,562. Important to note that the virtual trivia night activity, you'll see a lot of that in the September financial statements. We really hadn't got that rolling yet in August. So we'll see the results of that in September. And that's really all I have, Tanya, unless there's questions.
No questions. Great job. I did want to point out, though, that if you have not had a chance to pay your Rotary dues, you can either mail a check to Kevin at P.O. Box 174, or you can log into DACDB and pay directly there with a credit card. Just as you know, as he's reading out the numbers, we do have to pay those Rotary dues right away. And so we do that billing on July 1 with the expectation that people are going to pay their dues in pretty short order. So if you haven't paid your dues, I know it's only 12 of us, but if we could get that done, that would help out as far as making sure that if something comes up, we've got the cash reserves, because we've already paid the dues for the club. All right, moving right along. Rich Lunan.
Sure, Tanya, just want to ask, do you want me to mention our proposed bylaw change, or is that something you'd like to do?
Please, if you would.
Sure. Folks, as a result of the Financial Review Committee's review of last year's all of our financial activities, one of their recommendations was to make a change to our bylaws. And at our board meeting, we unanimously passed a proposed change that Tanya will eventually get out to you. You can read. We give you some days notice and probably vote at the end of next month. But essentially, we had a sentence that said a thorough review of all financial transactions by a qualified person shall be made once a year. Very general statement. The Financial Review Committee said they'd like to tighten that up a little bit, make it a little bit more formal. And so the wording will be something like, each year a financial review subcommittee will be appointed by the board concurrent with other committee appointments. The Financial Review Subcommittee shall perform an internal independent financial review of each Rotary fiscal year beginning July 1, ending June 30th. The subcommittee shall submit a written report of its findings addressed to the board of directors no later than September 1st. So it gives some specific dates, makes it kind of mandatory that we have a written review at the end of each year. So that's something you'll see that we will be voting on, I think probably at the business meeting at the end of next month. Other than that, that's all I have, Tanya.
Thank you, Rich. And the purpose of that language is specifically to tighten up the bylaws with some very specific parameters and what we need to see as far as the timeliness of that review. So, but we will send that out in an email to everyone, so you have a chance to look at the specific language so that we can vote as a club at the next business meeting to amend the bylaws to reflect that. So you will receive that probably in the next day or two, and that will give us well more than the 10-day notice for any sort of bylaw change. All right, Dave Callahan.
Well, Tanya, all I would want to add would be a big thank you to the Medfords. Their donation was really a classy thing to do. So thank you to father and son.
Thank you, Dave. John Bailey.
There's the mute button. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So for monthly attendance, looks like after we've matched up all the makeups, we are now hovering around 73.9%. And just to kind of compare that with the district, I'm looking at that now. I do believe we have the highest attendance in the district, if I'm looking at this correctly. The average attendance for the district looks like it's 46.73%, and our average is 73.09. So we must be doing something right.
Great. That is good news, especially given the fact that we've been operating in a virtual environment, and everyone is continuing to be committed to meetings. So thank you so much. All right, moving right along. Woody.
Hey, Tanya. Hi, team. For membership, just a heads up for the trivia night. We sent out emails to 76 former members in the club. I did get quite a few responses back from members that have moved out of state and stuff. But basically, we highlighted to them, you know, back in the old days, we used to stress attendance, and our dues were pretty high because everybody had to buy the meals. And we've changed that, of course, to no meals. If you don't want meals, you don't have to purchase those. So our fees are down to $106 for every 6 months, and we highlighted that. And again, that attendance was still taken, but it wasn't mandatory to make so many meetings and stuff like that. So we'll see how that all goes. I'm still waiting to hear back from many of those people. Shirley Frost took the initiative and got a hold of 4 or 5 of those former members, and Tanya also got a hold of 5 or 6 of those members. So we'll see how that goes. As far as people interested in joining the club, you might remember Chad Schwartz had a guest, Paveo, and he wrote me back about a month ago and said he'd still like to join the club eventually, but I think due to COVID, he was heading to Florida to do some work down there. So I told him, hey, whenever you want, just get a hold of me when you come back here to the O'Fallon area. I haven't heard from Rebecca Holler, Carrie Ruby's guest, but I'm sure she's still maybe thinking about it, so we'll see how that goes. Great news with Rich and Larry Strube. Larry, looking forward to having you on the team. And I think I mentioned to the group that I had a SWIC student call me the day after our trivia night. I did send her all the info. I haven't heard back from her. I'm thinking maybe the dues for a college student wouldn't be, you know, maybe she thought that would be too much, but I may re-engage with her in a week or so. As far as the Veterans Committee for the district, we are giving briefings to clubs. I just gave a Veterans Affairs Committee brief to Jackson Williamson this past week, and it went very well. Just for your essay, situational awareness, on Saturday, 1 May, Mary Alice has reserved McKendree University for the next Veterans Affairs meeting. So we will keep you posted on that. That's kind of a big fundraiser for for getting money for Rotary dogs. Our third Rotary dog is at TAV. I've just got a great picture of our third Rotary dog, and her name is MCAT for Mary Catherine. So we'll keep you posted on that, and we should be receiving a veteran to marry up with MCAT next September, I believe. For Reads Across America, that's going great. It's third Saturday in December, 19 December, Saturday this year. And if you know of any scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, etc., interested, the troops, have them get a hold of me. And we had probably about 10 to 15 troops that have done it in the past. And if any of your scout troops are interested, get in touch with me and we'll have them participate. That's about all I had. If anybody has any questions.
Thanks, Woody. Great job.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then I don't know how many of you are.
Lost you, Tanya.
You went to mute, Tanya.
There we go. Sorry. Technology. So Dale's not with us today. He had a procedure last week. Seems to be doing pretty well, but you guys might want to keep him in your thoughts and prayers. If you're friends with him and Suzanne on Facebook, you can see more information, but I think he's doing okay. He's just recuperating at this point. All right. Okay. Next is Grant Littigan.
Unless Grant called in, I don't think he's present.
Okay. Dave Plocker.
Dave, you're still muted.
The only thing I had to report was that from time to time, we'll have a speaker, we'll have a prayer or invocation that I'll get some feedback on about, maybe a political, religious nature. And so I'm just reminding everyone who is on the team each month that, just let's not forget that Rotary is a non-discriminatory, non-political, and non-denomination organization comprised of members from a wide range of religious faiths. And for that reason, Rotary International recommends non-denominational meeting invocations that give no referral to beliefs or specific religion. So just something to keep in mind. And I have, if I've ever inquired with someone who I had gotten some feedback, I've never found that anybody is really purposefully doing anything, but they have beliefs that really fit into the four-way test. And so just wanted to make sure the club, everyone knew about this topic and the importance of it.
Thank you, Dave. And just so you know, I know that everyone has a different talent that they bring, but if you have questions about, if you get selected to do the invocation and the pledge and it doesn't work with your schedule, or if you're uncomfortable or have questions, you can call Dave. Dave has a great list of suggestions, as well as Rotary International. So I know when I got selected the first time, I was a newer member, and it was a little overwhelming for me because I'm not someone who is comfortable knowing what to say all the time in those cases. So, but Dave can help give you some guidance if you're selected. So thank you so much. Bob Kaufman, anything to add?
Very little activity with regard to many of our youth services programs, primarily due to COVID-19 precautions. We're hoping that once the school kids go back to school in classroom, that will change. But right now, primary focus is on the execution of the Children's Halloween Costume Contest, and we've already talked about that. So we're doing fine for what we were able to do.
Perfect.
And Bob, let me throw in something here. Dave Vale and I we're very bad at keeping Bob informed because we're meeting almost every week with the O'Fallon Township High School Interact Club. But This club is, I think there were 17 members as of last meeting. They elected officers, and as down as Dave and I were about the group last year, we're the other end of the spectrum this year. The energy and the excitement and the enthusiasm of these young people. And what's really kind of neat is the president of the club is actually attending OTHS this semester from South Korea. So the president of the OTHS Interact Club is not in this country right now, which is very interesting and cool, really. Very enthusiastic. So through that, so there is something going on there, and sorry we didn't keep you more informed, Bob.
It's okay. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Dave.
That's a
Appreciate
nice, that's a first, I'm sure. All right, Mary Alice, International Service.
Yes, just before my committee report, just a couple things to tag on to what Woody had to say. Our May 1st event is not a veterans meeting, but that is our annual Disabled Veterans Dinner that we had to cancel for this year. So that's the update on that. And then because we've had to cancel all the McAllisters, or I should say, we are canceled because of the COVID with McAllisters. We did not cancel ourselves, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do it next year. They don't know what they're going to be doing. So any donations that people want to make for Wreaths Across America are greatly appreciated. And if you could just send me an email telling me what your donation is and if you've done it Venmo or whatever, so that I can make sure that you get the correct credit for that when we do the programs. So on to international. We have decided as a committee to support a program called, a program in Gambia through the Rotary Club there. Casey was had to leave, I'm sure by now, but he has been listening to Rotary meetings with them, and they're in need of masks and other things that they are working heavily with the Red Cross on. So we've decided that that is our project, and we ask that we pass the hat, figuratively speaking, on this, to add to the money, because we only have a free $125 in this on our budget. So any other money that can be allocated or donated would be a great help. People can choose to do that by Venmo, or you can email Kevin and ask him, and Kevin, if you're still here, if there's a different way you would like that done or a better way, please speak now. I'd like us to have all donations in by October 10th. And then Kevin and Casey can kind of discuss at that point how we route that money to them. But they are, of course, suffering over there too, and we're not able to travel to do any hands-on work this year, so we thought this was a very worthwhile, good project.
Mary Alice, so what we're looking to do, just so I'm clear, we're looking to raise cash so that the Red Cross, to donate on their behalf to the Red Cross to make sure that masks get to these people, or are we looking for people to purchase masks?
We are looking for people to donate to us, and then the money will go to the Gambia Club, Rotary Gambia Club, for them to work with the Red Cross. Okay.
And do we have a goal for what would be something that can make a real impact?
We do not, because I don't know how many people will contribute. I mean, I'd love to see at least $500 as a minimum, with that leaves what, $375 to be donated by the club. More than that would be very generous and very kind, because as we know, a lot of those countries have very little funds that they're working with. So Rotary steps up often to the plate, and they're working with the Red Cross on that issue, as well as several others involving COVID, probably PPE. I didn't ask specifically what those others were because we were looking at the mask part of that. So yeah, 500 would be great. More would be overwhelming.
Okay. Well, it would be great if we could maybe hit the $500 or maybe even $1,500 mark, and that wouldn't take much, from the club to do that. So let me get with my resources and see if we maybe can get more people outside of the club as well.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you, Tanya. And
Thank
any
you,
of
Mary
you that are
Alice.
still working in business, please see if some of those would donate, even as I can't say their name will be up in lights, but so many of you are with banks that may be willing to contribute, as little as $100. That would be great.
Yeah, if we could get, like I said, if we could get to that mark, that would be great for our efforts. All right. Anything else for the good of the club? If not, then October the 5th, we're actually going to have a presentation by the new director from the Habitat for Humanity. Jim Campbell put us in contact with this gentleman, and so he's going to be coming in to speak to us about the Habitat for Humanity build. There is a build going on right now in O'Fallon, by the way, guys, if you're not familiar. There's also opportunities for us to volunteer as a club as well. So there are service opportunities with Habitat right now.
Hey, were we going to talk about Venmo at all today?
Yes.
Maybe we weren't.
Well, we certainly can, Dave.
Here,
I did put it in the newsletter, how Venmo works. And I also sent what the Venmo contact information was. And then we also had information in there about the technical side of it. But if anybody would like to express any calls or anything like that.
The only thing that's really required is you download the application. Download the Venmo app and then test it out by sending somebody $1. And you'll get a feel for it. That's all I have to say.
It's very convenient and it's very easy to use once you have used it. But and we're offering it as a convenience factor because we're not able to physically put $1 in a bucket right now and meet in person. So what we have found is that Venmo, there's also Zelle, which is backed by Bank of America. So there's lots of opportunities out there for that. But the Venmo app sends money directly to the club account. And with us not doing in-person meetings, Happy Bucks and 50/50 has been a challenge this year. So Venmo was kind of our answer to do something virtually that allowed the club members to still give back and participate just like they would if we were meeting in person.
Hey, Tanya, may I say one more thing?
Sure.
If people choose to do that Venmo for the masks, I understand, I've never done Venmo, but I understand there's a memo line. So if you would please just mark that masks, if you're sending any money that way, so that Kevin knows where it's supposed to go, not that he's left out there in la la land trying to figure out what your donation is for.
Right. If you decide to do it, it does ask you what the money is going for. And what I have found with using it is it's very user friendly in that if I've made a mistake or if I've sent somebody too much money, they can refund it back to me. So if you're using a debit card or a checking account, there's no fees. It doesn't cost you anything. However, if you're using a credit card, there is a fee that is charged. And you can Venmo individuals, you can Venmo organizations, you can Venmo companies, and it is backed by PayPal.
I'm going to try it today. So do I just type in O'Fallon Rotary Club or?
So Kevin did put it in the chat. If you look at, it's at Rotary dash Club O'Fallon. Look at the chat here. At Rotary dash of dash O'Fallon dash 11 or Illinois. So
Okay.
just so you know, yeah, it's a little, and that that app is also in your newsletter, and we've sent out a couple of emails with it as well. But if anybody needs additional information, please feel free to reach out to me or Kevin.
And just so everybody knows, if I remember correctly, because I use Venmo all the time for my kids because it's easy. When you first set up your account, within 24 hours, what they do to ensure that your bank account is correct is they'll do a debit and a credit of a penny, I believe. And then once that has happened, then you can do the actual Venmo to the Rotary Club. So it's going to take about 24 hours if this is your first time before your account is actually set up and you're ready to go.
Oh, thanks for that.
Thank you. All right, guys. Anything else for the good of the club? Dave Plocker, do we want to try to set up another opportunity to talk about Venmo?
Well, all the stuff you put in the newsletter and the tip I gave and the tip Allison gave, I think go for it is my words.
All right. Anything else for the good of the club? If not, then we will wrap up this meeting. I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you so much for your time, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.